And also, if you notice your bus number, anybody can tell me your bus number? 45, that's what, right. The number 45 also has a heart on it. And I myself have a heart as well. What does this mean? Okay, I'm not the only one that's going to have a heart. All of you are going to have a heart on as well before you leave this bus. This means that you are my you are my bouquet of hearts. What does that mean? Is that if you have this heart, you're mine for the day. Okay? You see Pirouette? He has a heart. So when we get off this bus, if you don't remember your bus number, if you don't remember my name, just look. And I have a heart. Pirouette will have a heart. So you'll know that is my bus driver or that is my guy. Okay? Just in case you forget the bus number and our names. You go ahead.
Excuse me.
It's going to take us about an hour and 30 minutes to get to Old Panama. There's one word that you're going to learn today, and that is viejo. Because I'm going to be saying Panama Viejo instead of Old Panama. So one word you will learn today is viejo. So what does viejo mean?
Oh.
That is correct. So when you go back home, and you know sometimes your friends be tripping, and you just say viejo. Old. Okay, so now we are going to go, depending on the time frame, we may be doing a pit stop to use the bathrooms. If not, we'll be going directly to Old Panama, Panama Viejo, and there will be a facility there where we can actually use the restrooms. So now let's get started with this tour. Since we're not there yet, I'm going to actually show you one of the things that we're going to see, one of the sites. I know that when you go online, when you registered or went on to your cruise, I'm sure you probably found some information about Panama. And the first thing that came up was a building. And an old building. And what is that? You probably saw this, right? When you looked, this is one of the first pictures that you would see. This is the tower of the cathedral. The tower of the cathedral is the primary symbol of Old Panama. When you type in Panama, this is what you will find. This building was built in 1535, and it was made out of wood. Then, a couple years down the road, it needed... Why are you laughing? Then in 1540, it was in a bad condition, and they tried to rebuild it by masonry, but they failed. Then again, in 1587, they tried to do the same thing, and it failed once again. So it was built by wood. It said that they had a bishop that had come into the bay, and he had actually had materials to build onto the tower of the cathedral, and it sank right outside the bay. This cathedral sits on the back, this tower sits in the back of the cathedral, standing about 72 feet tall with a 6.5 square meter base. It has 3 levels. Each level contains a platform which holds 115 steps, totaling a 380 foot stone staircase. Okay, where you can actually go up and you can have a panoramic view of the colonial city and the modern city. And you'll also be able to see, once you're up there, you'll always be able to see also the marshland, how it's so important for us here in Panama. Another site that we're going to see is the Church of the Conception. This church is actually a convent. Thank you. This convent was established in 1598. Was established in 1598. This convent was established in 1598 when 4 nuns from Peru arrived. It is actually today one of the largest stone complex in Old Panama, in Panama Viejo. Once the nuns arrived from Peru, the congregation grew very rapidly. Why did it grow very rapidly? Well, it grew so rapidly because the people of the town, we also had, in those times, we had elite society and we had poor and we had middle class, as well as we still have today. So the elite will put their daughters into into the convent, and once they did that, that meant that they had to bring them with the dowry. So whatever they owned, whatever belonged to them, was brought to this convent and was given to the church. Not only did they have to bring their dowry, of course, as they were elite, they also had slaves. So their slaves will also come into the convent with them and do the daily things that need to be done in the convent. And you also had uh, nuns that were also poor, and of course, they did most of the work. Well, by 16 in 16 like I said, it grew rapidly. By 1604, it already had a church and a cluster, which was badly damaged by an earthquake in 1621. But this church also had a convent, also had a unique, um, something unique about it. They actually had a cistern. A cistern is a water reservoir. This water reservoir was commonly found in colonial buildings at that during those times. But particular, this structure is the only structure of its kind to date that has been found in Panama Viejo. You notice I said to date. Well, I said to date because Panama Viejo is still an archaeological site. It is an actual archaeological monument. It is a cultural heritage monument since 1997. It's part of UNESCO. This cistern was about, well, let's just say the church, the cathedral, and the cluster all together was about 2 blocks. 2 blocks meaning it was probably about 6,800 square meters. So it was pretty big. And in there it also had a cistern. The cistern was about had four masonry walls, 4 vaults, and it was held up by arches and stone columns. The markings on the wall of the cistern indicate that it held about 124,000 liters of water, which the nuns during the dry season will sell this water to the people of the city, and also provided them with water in the city. Why did they have to sell this water? Well, the Chagres River was the nearest river, and it was far, and the surrounding creeks were contaminated. So what they would have to do, it was easier to buy the water, which supposedly the water, it said that was sold for 5 cents at that time, which was a lot of money. It was better for them to buy the water. It was better to buy the water than to send a slave out to go so far to fetch it. Here's a picture of the convent. And as you can see right here over here, you will see the cistern. It's not a very good picture, but you can figure it's pretty big. Over here, I have a closer look of the inside of the cistern, where you can see that we have done some renovations to it. We have placed some wood floors where you can actually go down and see the cistern, the water reservoir.
You have one.
Well, let me finish. Well, this is our time. This is my time today with you. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful tour of Panama and experienced something new. On behalf of Aventura dos Mil, Pidwe, and myself, may you enjoy the rest of your trip and come back to Panama soon.